Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video. Thank you so much for stopping by. Today I have something a little bit different planned, as you guys can probably already tell. A lot of people have been commenting that they want to see my entire figure collection. They want some sort of room tour. So I thought, hey, this would be a good time to do it. Obviously, you guys have seen this shop before. You guys have seen these figures before, but that is not all my figures. So I thought I'd just take the opportunity, show you guys around the rest of the room, actually see what goes on behind the camera, and yeah, show you guys my anime figure collection thus far. So, let's take a look. I don't like standing. Standing is weird. I'm used to sitting. I feel like when I'm standing, I use my hands too much. I don't know. So I guess the best place to start is going to be on my back shelf where I have the majority of my scale figures. I get a lot of questions about my Hatsune Miku figures, and as you guys can see, I do own a couple. That is the majority of my collection. And as much as I personally love the Good Smile Racing series for Hatsune Miku, not all my Miku figures are going to be Good Smile brand. A lot of them are going to be Sega, Banpresto, even a few Cranking figures, which are great quality, especially for the price point. So as much as I love my army of Hatsune Miku figures, they're definitely not the only ones I own. My figure collection does not focus on any sort of anime or character in particular, as you guys can probably tell. It ranges. I have my Hatsune Mikus, I have my Blackrock shooters, I have my different Shimikazes. There really is no rhyme or reason to the way that I collect my figures personally. Really, the only thing all these figures have in common is they're from animes that I really personally enjoy. Their characters are designs that I personally really enjoy, and that's why I have them in figure form. One of the many questions I get is what is a good, cheap figure, and one of the many that I can think of off the top of my head has always been the Sega Hatsune Mikus, or even some of the lower-end Good Smile Racing Mikus, especially from 2015 previous. You can usually pick those up very cheap. But if you're not a Hatsune Miku fan, there is some really cool, unique figures out there, such as this Konata/Shimikaze mashup figure that I believe Sega made back in the day. Very unique, two different animes that have literally nothing to do with each other. Before we move on to the rest of the room, it probably would be worth stopping by my Nightstand, because I do have quite a few figures on that. Most of these I've actually made videos on in the past, so these are honestly some of my favorite figures, though, in my collection thus far. I do have a couple of the Good Smile Racing figures, of course the Binding Nikopera figures, even the Alter Tulavru figure back there, all looking very nice. Good thing to wake up in the morning to. And just past my nightstand is my bed, so yeah, it's just my bed. If you guys can even see it, get it, because it's camo. Can't even see it. It's a camo joke. So we got some manga here on the ground. I've been working my way through. I guess I can show you guys on the way by. Demon Lord on the Floor, Volume 6. One of my personal favorites. Plus Size Elf, a classic. Time I got reincarnated as a slime. Been working my way through that. It's been pretty good. Kogal's Sluts. Oh, can't show that to you guys. Moving on to the glass cabinet where I house some of my higher end figures. Nothing against the rest of what I have on display here. I get a lot of questions about the glass cabinet, where I got it, how much it was, and funny story, pretty much this came out of a gas station that had it for a jewelry display, and they no longer needed it. So I picked it up, I cleaned it up a little bit, added the LED light strip, and threw some anime figures in there. The issue with this cabinet is there's not a ton of room in there, so I really had to pick what characters to go in there very carefully. Up top here I do have some of my Good Smile Blackrock shooters, particularly the insane 6 scale, I believe, Good Smile Blackrock shooter, which is, if I had to pick my top 3 anime figures I own right now, that probably would be one of them. Down below that, got a couple of my Supersonicos, the 4 scale, the Good Smile, 10th anniversary, and then I believe that's from Orchid Seed. I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, that's my main collection of higher end Supersonico figures. And just below that is going to be a couple of my 4 scales. The 2 4 scales from Konosuba, the 4 scale Aqua bunny figure, and then the 4 scale Megumin bunny figure. As much as people seem to love those figures, I actually get more questions about the figure in the middle because people, I don't think, automatically recognize it. I don't think it's a very well-known figure. And that is going to be the 4 scale Seina figure from Haganai. Very good figure, one that I was lucky enough to pick up before it was totally off the market. I never saw it again after that. But if you are a fan of Haganai or Seina in particular, that is definitely one to keep your eye out for. Alrighty, I'm back. Sorry, I had to go do a thing. Friggin' hot outside today, you guys. Moving on to the next section of my room, that is going to be my manga cabinet. As you guys can see, I own a couple issues. Before we jump into the manga though, I want to start with a few more figures. I do have my 4 scale Good Smile Snow Miku version 3 up top here, just looking down upon us peasants. Then I also do have the K-On drum set, which took me a long time to find for whatever reason. Moving down a couple shelves here, we do have a few more figures. I do have my Toradora figure, got another Seiga Hatsune Miku, and then behind that I have all my different manga. So just like my figures, my manga is not really set up for any rhyme or reason. It's just kind of random spots as I get more and more down the line. I try to keep the series I enjoy the most closer to the top, but I mean that's definitely not true for all of these. As you guys can tell, I do have various issues. I have School Live, Monster Musume, Meo Chiki, Toradora, Evergreen, 12 Beast, Mononoke, Miss Kobayashi. The list goes on, and those are just a few of my personal favorites. On the second shelf here, the main figure I have is going to be another Good Smile Miku. This is going to be a Tony Works style figure, which is done amazingly well. And then as we move farther down, it gets into more of the manga that I only have 1 or 2 issues of, which would be like Kill la Kill, Girls Um Panzer, Dragon R. I mean, there's going to be quite a few down here that I just don't have a lot of yet. They haven't moved up the rank set to the top shelves. Also, the quality of figure is going to decrease the farther down you go. These 2 figures are both fake. This is a little acrylic stand, No Game, No Life figure, if you can even call it that. Don't call this a figure. It's not a figure. And then as we move even farther down, now we're getting into single issues, which would be like Not Lives, Goblin Slayer. And the bottom shelf I cannot show you guys. That is for research purposes only. Alrighty guys, this is pretty much the end of the room tour. This is really the only other wall we haven't seen yet, and that is going to be my computer setup. I'm not really sure how in depth you guys want me to go on my computer or my desk setup. I am a computer major, so I'd be more than happy to go over my monitors and keyboard and mouse and processor and graphics card and all that, but I don't think any of you really care about that, so we're not going to do that. But here's the gist of my setup. This is where I do all the editing. This is where I do the streams, all of that. Everything gets done right here. And really at my desk, I try to keep it as clean as possible for when I'm doing paperwork and other things. So I only have a few figures, which would be, one of them would be an original character, which I believe is from Alpha Max. And then I also have the smaller Blackrock shooters that came with the collector's edition for the movie. And that's it. That's the only figures I have at my desk. Back in the day, I had 6 or 7, and it was getting out of hand. So yeah, moved all those away. There you guys can see my actual computer if you're interested. I am kind of a nerd about custom water loops, so there is one of the ones I've done. Yeah, looks pretty good. And if you guys are wondering where those noodle topper figures I get go in the otaku boxes, well, they go on my graphics card. One of the last things I have to show you guys would be some of the posters and artwork I have on my walls. A lot of these posters I've had for years. I've gotten at different conventions. One of the tricks I like to use when figure shopping at conventions, especially if it's a place that sells figures as well that I'm interested in, is I'll use them for a bargaining tactic. That's especially true for this Toradora poster. I think they were selling it for 20 bucks and I really wanted it, but they also had a figure I wanted, so I convinced them just to throw it in if I paid what they were asking for the figure. Very easy way to get a free poster. This 2013 Racing Miku poster I actually got locally only a couple months ago, just randomly showed up. So yeah, it's definitely good to check your local listings, Facebook, Craigslist, whatever it might be, for stuff like this, because this was a very good find, especially for somebody who's selling it just right down the street. And if you guys have been a part of any of my streams lately, you've probably already seen this poster, my classic Heaven's Lost Property poster, which I have had since probably day one I've been into anime. A great anime, very good character, especially Nymph. I mean, how can you say no to that face? This banner I actually got locally as well. The same person that was selling the Racing Miku poster, they just sold them both to me for a really good price, so I couldn't say no to that. I like to use these banner posters as backdrops for my glass cabinet as well. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but there is a actual banner behind that. I think it looks really cool behind the glass and the figures themselves inside the cabinet. Alright guys, so that was the room tour. You guys got to see all the different figures I have, not only back here, but on my different bookshelves, even on my desk. Got to see my posters, got to see my computer setup. Yeah, that was my entire room. I know this is a video that a lot of you guys were looking forward to, so I'm glad I was finally able to get that to fruition. A couple announcements before I get this video completely wrapped up. Number one, I do have a P.O. box now. I know a lot of people were asking to send me stuff, and I just didn't really have a way to do it. But yes, I do have a P.O. box now, which I will put here, I guess, and then in the description as well. So it is open. You guys are free to send me stuff. Number two, I am streaming usually once a week now on YouTube itself. So if you guys want to talk to me in real time, that is a great way to do it. It's really fun hanging out with you guys and answering questions and messing around and gaming, stuff like that. And then really the last thing is me working on a Discord server. That was a request I got a lot while streaming and in video comments, so I'm working on it. I promise I'll get you guys something. But other than that, you guys, thank you for watching. I do appreciate every single one of you. We are closing the gap to 10,000 subscribers. 10,000 subscribers. That's 5 digits. So that's insane. I really appreciate all the support I've gotten thus far, and I can't wait to hit that goal with you guys. But other than that, you guys, I will catch you in the next video. Peace.